Super Bowl champions.
Swinging a miss, struck him out. The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Flyers are going to win the Stanley Cup. The Flyers win the Stanley Cup. For the lead. Yes!
Iverson, wow, what a fake off Daniels as he broke his ankles and got all the way to the cup.
A 100 fucking shows in the making, boys. 100 fucking shows in the making.
100.
100. We hit it. Nick, you remember this show in my basement? Me, you, Oscar, Nick Dodd. Oh my God, dude.
That was
And
the
now,
origins.
look at where we are, bud. You know where we are, though? The Philly Fired Up Sports Network.
It's a debut episode on the Fired Up Podcast Network.
That's where we are. baby.
Episode 100.
Episode 100. We hit the century mark.
Wow.
It's crazy, man. What
It's
a
a long way.
What a ride. Only if that dumbass motherfucking ex-producer Oscar would actually show his fucking face. It'd be really nice. That fucking useless bag of shit. I miss him. I miss him so much. He did so much for this podcast that just goes unrecognized. Like just being there, not contributing anything except ruining the podcast with Game of Thrones talk. And then we had to revamp it. So it's pretty much how it went down with the first try.
And listen, Rich, I'm going to share the screen. I'm going to take it all the way back to November 28th, 2020.
Oh, man.
Rich and Oscar in the basement talking talking Eagles.
Talking birds, baby. Talking birds. I remember me, Nick, and Oscar just in the group chat, just talking what's our song gonna be? And first it was Beanie Siegel, and I'm like, all right, that was dope. But I'm like, man, we need something else that we won't get copyright infringements on, because if they sue us, we have nothing.
Yeah, seriously.
There's 3 microphones I bought. I didn't want to give up. All of our endorsement deals. So it's been awesome. I'm happy that Nick, you were able to join us tonight. Oscar will be joining us hopefully sometime soon. And it's just great to, we're on Fired Up Sports now, baby. It's awesome. We got to do what we set out to do, hang out with friends and talk Philly sports. So what better way to do that than here?
Yeah.
So it's great. It's great.
100%. And we'll be hearing we got a call into the Broad Street line, so we'll be playing that a little bit later.
It's about fucking time.
Had to knock the dust off that line.
Man, that was like the Ghostbusters line in Ghostbusters 2. That shit was not ringing. And finally, we get that thing ringing.
You stop paying the phone bill? Don, you stop paying the phone bill?
It's a Google line. It's fucking free. I can't even pay someone to call.
Man, Jesus.
I always think I'm I should call and just be a different voice. And then I just think back to how Mike Missinelli almost ruined his career by having Pat Egan do that. So I'm I'm just not going to do it. Just not going to do it.
Should just have Big Dan call. Have Big Dan call.
Oh man, Big Dan would be voice to text calling, and it would just be so goofy. Shout out to Big Dan. I love you, buddy. But man, it's so crazy. You know what the craziest thing is, though? The Eagles look like absolute dog shit on Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have to get into it because, it's our 100th episode, but we still got to do what we do best, and that's break down the birds. And Jesus Christ, man. Sunday.
Nauseous.
What?
Yeah.
Adam, what's up, buddy?
What's going on, brother?
What's up, dude?
To be honest, right? You could not have started that game any worse.
No.
Right, with 4 consecutive 3-and-outs.
Mm-hmm.
They just looked like lackluster. They looked like they were going to sleepwalk through that. They could just sleepwalk through that game, right? And with not only the playoff home field advantage on the line, not for nothing, but you also have that pick from the Saints that could have been better had you won that game. Like it was disheartening to see in that first half for them to just come out the way they did.
I just don't know what to think. Like, all right, so here's my question to you guys. I'll ask Nick because I haven't heard from him in a while on the show, so I want to hear what he has to say. After these past 2 games, and you see the Eagles' offense, as I'm going to say, in turmoil, because that's truly what I believe. I think they just don't look good. They lost their identity again. They went out with the same game plan they're going to run with Jalen Hurts, with Gardner Minshew, and he's not capable of doing that. Is Jalen Hurts the MVP? Is he the most valuable player to his team? If you see the ineptitude of the past 2 games of this Eagles offense and how this Eagles offense is run, is he the MVP? Nick, what do you think?
I think that he is, but I don't think that he's going to win. I'll say that because Mahomes is I think it's 360 yards away from the record, something like that, right? If he sets the passing yardage record, he's going to have the most TDs. They might end up being the 1 seed. He's going to get it. And, the media loves him, right? They drool over Patrick Mahomes. Not saying he's not worthy of it, but Hurts showed by him not being on the field that the Eagles, what are they? They're probably a playoff team without him, but they're not a number 1 seed in control of their own destiny type of team, right? Now, I think it's more, like you said, Rich, it's more on the coaches because to not alter your game plan, you're letting the Saints possess the ball for 8 minutes, right? The first drive of the game. The exact same thing that happened against Washington. And then you come out against a porous run defense and you want to have Minshew throw the ball a ton, right? We talked about it. It's 3rd and 4. They're throwing 20-yard out routes. Why? Get the first down.
It's fucking stupid.
Eat some clock. Get your defense off the field. And typically, I don't like Jonathan Gannon at all. But a game against the Saints, Andy Dalton. This isn't 2013 Bengals AFC 1 seed Andy Dalton, right?
No, not even close.
He's washed. So typically, Gannon would eat these guys up, right? That's been his MO. These bad quarterbacks he eats up. For some reason, I don't know what happened. There was no in-game adjustments. They wait till the second half to adjust, and then they look better. But, it just showed that they should have won that game, but Minshew made a couple mistakes. And if they played that same exact game and you switch out Minshew for Hurts, same game plan, everything like that, they still win that game because Hurts wouldn't have made those same mistakes.
Yep.
He would have got you some gimme first downs, and you would have kept the ball moving. They would have won that game. It would have been ugly. It would have been like the Colts game. Probably, people were like, they shouldn't have won, but they would have won. They would have been the number 1 seed. Hurts would be resting with his feet up this week. Everything's good. Now he's got to play. Right? He could hopefully, we don't want him to get hurt. We hope they avoid that. I actually want them to not defer, take the ball, score, 8-minute drive. If it, let Hurts play the first quarter, first half, depending on how the game goes. If you're up 21-0, he comes out. No more.
Agreed.
Yeah, I mean, you made Andy Dalton. There's no way that Andy Dalton starts that game 14-14.
Yeah, it was
pathetic.
How do you take that game plan and not make any adjustments? Like, that to me was the biggest red flag of that whole game. Was like, how did it take you until the second half to realize that the place where the Saints suck is in the run game, where you excel, and not for nothing, but you got a backup tackle for Lane Johnson. What a better remedy for that than just run the ball, right? Establish the run, establish that line of scrimmage, and then let Minshew throw play action off that shit. But you made that move to just drop him back. There's no reason in that game plan, that he should be throwing the ball as much as he did. And you saw when they had success at the run game, they weren't breaking off 5-yard runs. They were 15+ yard runs. They were good. They were good plays.
Mm-hmm.
Joe, what do you think?
Yeah, I just don't understand the approach. You know, you weren't playing a juggernaut style team on offense or defense. You know, you had that game against Dallas. They almost pulled that game out against Dallas. And then you come home to an inferior opponent, and you're not prepared from the get-go on both sides of the ball. It doesn't really add up. They weren't prepared. Sirianni didn't have them ready. Gannon wasn't ready. Steichen wasn't ready. You know, they had 9 yards rushing at halftime. You know, you have Miles Sanders, Pro Bowl Miles Sanders. Where was he? You know, it's about balance. It's about, you know, not hanging your backup quarterback out to dry. But for some reason, they just didn't want to run the ball. It blows my mind. I have no idea. But I'll tell you what, they better get it right this week, or we're gonna be the 5 seed.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the only reason that game was as close as and competitive as it was the defense, right? The defense outside of that first drive played really well. I mean, you're looking at what they got 4 guys with 10 plus sacks. They're getting a ton of pressure. The DBs are replacement guys, but they're playing pretty well, all things considered. You're going to get GJ back this week. Rich, talk to me about where you are in terms of like what's your game plan going into this game, or coming out of this game and into the Giants game.
I'm stepping on next. Like, I'm coming out this game, and you're seeing smash mouth football. I'm running a lot of play action. There's no unnecessary, like there's no way Miles Sanders shouldn't have 20 plus rushes this game. You need to go out there and you need to dominate the line of scrimmage. I want to see Jalen Hurts coming out on fire. I want to see him breaking off a few 10 plus yard runs. I want to see Miles Sanders getting involved. I want to see sustainable 6, 7, 8 minute drives, getting that Giants defense worn down, and scoring a lot of points. I want to see that defense play with that fire with CJG back, because they're missing something right on this defense. And I'm not exactly sure what the fuck it is.
Right.
But the linebacking play, Kazir White has been terrible in coverage.
Man.
Like, he's looked absolute. I've watched him on some plays where he's just fucking lost. And is that because he knows Josiah Scott is not a good slot corner? Because, I mean, I see it as Josiah Scott should not be our slot corner, and it sucks that Avonte Maddox is going to be out for an extended period of time.
Yeah.
That's a huge position that hurts us. Like, Chris Olave was out there just eating up Josiah Scott. And then you put the dude Shaheed in there, and he was eating them up. And then Kazir White's looking just absolutely lost, going out there and trying to cover the flat, just looking terrible. They're overcompensating for, I would say, the lack of the blitz. Yes, we're still getting home with our front, obviously, with just having 5 guys with over 9 sacks. I think like 6 guys with 6 plus sacks. Yeah, we're getting home with that. But you're not seeing different looks on this defense. You're not seeing the blitz packages. You're not seeing any corners coming off the edge and blitzing. You're not disrupting timing of the quarterback. You need to do something different.
Right.
They need to do it this game and carry it over for the playoffs, because let's be real. We lose with the 5th seed. We win. We have no worries. But we also need to see this passing game start clicking again. We need to see Hurts going in there, finding his rhythm, and continuing that for the playoffs for being off for 2 weeks. It's all going to come down to me. I want to see Gannon bring the blitz. I want to see them disrupting the timing of Daniel Jones and the terrible wide receivers he has out there, controlling the line of scrimmage and stopping Saquon Barkley, and Jalen Hurts just dominating and doing what he does. Because to me, he is the MVP. You see how abysmal this offense is without him. You can put players in other personnel. You can look at other teams in the league. You can look at that fucking shitbag Cowboys team that was winning games with Cooper Rush. Winning games with Cooper Rush. And then Dak comes back and he's successful and he has his best passing game against us. Again, we don't know who's better, right? I still say the Eagles are better than Dallas, but it wasn't Hurts versus Dak. Hurts is immensely more talented than Dak. And I like our chances going in, or Dallas coming here in the playoffs and us whooping that ass, because I have a feeling we will win this game. But it all starts with, can we run the ball successfully?
Yeah.
And can Hurts get his timing down? And will Gannon make an adjustment after a drive and figure some shit the fuck out? Because it's just, to me, everybody's, you stop blaming Gannon, blame the talent. Yeah, okay, I am blaming the talent. They should play better. But Gannon should also be playing to their strengths, which he still is continuously not doing.
Yeah.
Like, I hate the fact when I do go on Twitter and I see people who are like, well, you gotta blame the players. We are blaming the players, but isn't it up to your coach to play you at your strength? Remember the first 2 games where he's dropping Hassan Reddick back in the coverage?
Yeah.
And then Hassan Reddick comes on. Nick, what was that stat today? There's only like 3 players in the NFL since 2000 to have 10+ sacks,
3 forced fumbles.
3 forced fumbles and 3 fumble recoveries, and
it's T.J. Watt last year and Chandler Jones in 2019.
And you're not putting Hassan Reddick in the Defensive Player of the Year category. You're saying it's Micah Parsons or Nick Bosa. Like, okay, 2 animals at their respected positions, but
it was 16+ sacks, 5+ forced fumbles, and 3+ fumble recoveries.
Yeah, and that's
he's like, that's what I'm saying. Like, people are raving about Parsons, but Reddick's probably had a bigger impact on the Eagles defense as a whole, because just Parsons was on the Cowboys defense last year. They were good last year. Reddick comes to the defense, makes a huge difference.
Absolutely.
Rich, I get what you're saying about Gannon, and I agree. But against the Saints, that roster, he shouldn't have had to even do anything if they would have game planned the offense better to be more effective, controlled the ball. Yeah. I thought that was a big whiff by Steichen. I get like, okay, Jalen might play. I don't want to alter the offense too much. Okay, but why are you still – the RPO shouldn't even existed when Minshew's in the game.
Right.
Because do you honestly think he's going to keep it?
No.
You know what I mean? There's no threat of that, right?
I mean, listen, and Nick, all things considered, he should have just kept it once. Even if you get 2
I
yards.
agree, but he just won't. He won't do that.
Right. Like there was one play, they showed a replay where it's an RPO. He ends up handing it off to Sanders. And when they show the replay, there's no one between the end of the line and the sideline. And he could have run as far as his slow little white ass could have taken him. But because they know that he was never going to run the ball. And I don't know why you don't just say one time. Like, I don't care what the look is, pull it and run it, just so that threat is there, that you put it in their mind to say, like, he might run.
Sure.
Like, it just, that kind of shit just didn't make a whole lot of fucking sense, man.
You know what, too, Rich? You brought up Kaiser White, and I was thinking while I was watching the game, and I saw him miss a couple, and I'm like, what is he? Like, he just looked – I don't know if he was trying to overcompensate because, like you said, Josiah Scott is like me is like us, basically, right now. He just looks lost, right?
Yeah.
But then I'm thinking, like, okay, right now you see Kaiser White as being so ineffective. Switch it up. Like, I want to see Nakobe Dean more, whether he doesn't specialize in that, but he's a football player. Yeah. Every time I watch him, he makes plays. He's always in the right spot. He's got a nose for the football. Yep. So give him a chance and just switch something up. Give him more reps. Now's the time to get him reps.
I was going to say, maybe this is the game where, they just kind of stick him in there and get him a ton of reps, because you saw in that there was, I can't remember the game. It was a home game, but there was a time where, like, Kaiser White was off the field and he was on there for like 17 plays and he ends that game being the statistical leader in like he had like 17 plays, had 7 tackles. Like, you saw him literally almost like mimic the plays from Georgia where Jordan Davis clogs the hole and he runs right up his ass and goes and shoots the hole and makes a play in the backfield. I know that TJ Edwards is having a good year. I know that Kaiser White started the year really well. And I think what you'll see is as this team evolves next year. Kazir White was on a 1-year deal.
Yeah, he's gone.
I think Nakobe Dean inevitably slides into that spot next year.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this is the week where you might see some of those guys obviously get some. They're going to get some run, because I don't think that this game ends up being anything that's relatively competitive based on what you're hearing out of New York, with them probably sitting most of their guys, because their playoff position is pretty much static at this point.
Yeah, they can't. They're locked into the 6. They can't go up or down. So it makes. I mean, obviously they'd love nothing more than to stick it to us and knock us down. But that would be really stupid on their part to put any of their starters in harm's way.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they kind of. I don't want to see that. I mean, I think like by the second half they'll probably be like, all right, we have nothing left to prove. Let's get out of this game, and hopefully the Eagles can take advantage, because I just need to see them win outright. I need to see that spark back in this Eagles offense.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. From my perspective on Jalen Hurts from last year to this year it's like night and day.
Yeah.
And I miss that guy running this offense because of how effective and how I didn't worry about, is he going to make a stupid pass? Is he going to turn the ball over? It's, what you have. You have the explosiveness of Jalen Hurts, but also that wherewithal of safety. And that's why I just can't wait for him to come back. Again, unfortunate timing for injuries, but we should have won one of these past games to be able to sit everybody for 2 weeks.
Right.
To the point where it didn't matter and we can all be because you got Lane Johnson, who's playing with the fucking torn tendon in his in his abdomen.
Yeah.
Is absolutely insane and has to be super duper painful. And you're missing Avonte Maddox. Hopefully he's back. I'm not sure what his timeline looks like for the playoffs, but that's a huge loss for us.
Sure.
But you get, Gardner Johnson back.
Yeah, the best way that they should play it, Rich, going into the playoffs is until Avante's back, CJ's got to have to play the slot.
Slot.
Yeah. Which is complete. I'm happy as hell.
He
with
was
that,
the best. He was the best slot
playing well. So
yeah, I mean, he was like a top 2 or 3 slot guy on the Saints when he first got drafted, and then he moved to safety. He's a ball hawk. So
yeah, he was the number one slot guy last year. I believe he was the slot guy last year.
And how about him still leading the league in interceptions?
It's like you trust Reed Blankenship more than you trust Josiah Scott, and that's how you have to.
Yeah, I don't.
You know what I mean? You put Reed on the field, you let CJ make some plays, get some pressure, and we're going to get that pressure, and the defense is going to look better if Jalen's out there and we're putting points on the board. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I also think in the Saints game, they come down, they have an 8-minute drive. He went about it the wrong way on offense by like, okay, now we need to score. He should have been like, okay, we're going to run our offense the way that we want to run it. We can still beat this. This is the Saints, bro. We can beat them. We're down by 1 touchdown.
Yeah.
You should have just ran your offense, ran the ball a ton, used the whole first quarter. Who cares? Then you tie the game, and then the whole game plan's different. But instead, he comes out slinging it like it was like Gardner back in Washington State trying to air it out all the time. It just doesn't work.
Nick, it almost it made me think, like, did they see too much of him airing it out in Dallas, where they're just like, all right, well, the Saints are not nearly as good as the Cowboys, so we can just take that same game plan and just kind of roll it over. Like, to me, that it looked more like that than it did like, I'm going to really game plan for a strategy that's going to make us successful against the Saints. I think they saw to me, it seemed like a really lazy game plan.
Yeah.
Who's got the LG washing machine?
Oh, that's me. Yeah, my watch. We'll work close for tomorrow.
I know that beep at the old house, Rich. That's what we had. I remember that beep.
It's a great beep. It's a great beep. Hey, Mr. Scarterfield, what's going on, bud?
Nick, so you've been talk to me about the growth that you've seen from Hurts from because the last time we talked was probably about a year ago.
Oh,
Like right around that playoff game where he looked less than pedestrian where he is a year from now.
I'm a big Hurts hater. Rich knows. I've been an anti-Hurts guy since we drafted him. I will say that night and day, like Rich said, compared to last year, it just shows he put the work in. I also think that they did a ton to help him, right? Yeah. A.J. Brown makes a big difference in an offense and helping a quarterback. That's one, right? Miles Sanders has been healthy. That's helpful. Better defense. So you're going to put him in better spots. He's not going to have to force the ball and try and do too much. He's maturing a little bit. His accuracy is better. His arm talent is a little bit better. But I said in our group chat, I told him, I said, I don't want to praise him because I've been hating on him for so long and it's worked. So I'm going to keep the same energy towards him because he's been balling. So I don't want to change anything. I don't want to start praising him now and then have him start going this way. We want him to keep climbing. So it's fine.
Oh, well, let's talk about what are we thinking this weekend? Rich, I'm gonna start with you. What are you thinking? Give me we'll do a prediction and we'll do a key play.
Man,
it's a huge line, right? That line tells you that nobody's playing for the Giants.
Yeah,
14 points, and it stayed at 14.
Yeah, so they definitely know something.
They think Hurts is playing too. That's what that says.
Yeah. So, which is fantastic. I mean, I'm going to go 27-10 Eagles. My big play is Jalen Hurts, 4 total touchdowns. Well, no, that would be 28. So 28-10, 4 total touchdowns for Jalen Hurts. I think he comes back and he makes a statement, whether it's through the air or on the ground, but they get back to what they were doing. They got to control the line of scrimmage and get out of there healthy. I mean, I really want to see. I want to see BG get a few more sacks. Shout out to Adam coming back, getting 11 sacks after his Achilles injuries. And I want to see Reddick feast. I want to see Reddick get 2. I want to see the dominance of this Eagles team that you saw earlier in the year. And I want you to fear us going into the playoffs because I am not afraid of San Fran. I'm not afraid of Dallas. I'm not afraid of the Giants. I'm not afraid of whoever's coming out of the NFC South. It's to me, I'm not worried, but I will be worried if you see some inconsistencies and you see some rust or this Eagles 14-point favorites and they only win by say 3 or it's super close the whole game. That will worry me. But I want to take a timeout first and say, Mr. Scarterfield, my condolences for Mrs. Scarterfield. She was a great woman and, growing up with Chris and being at your house and hanging out with, you and your wife. She was an amazing woman and she will be missed. My dad also offers his condolences. I tried to reach out to Chris and send my condolences to him too, but it sucks, and I'm here for you. And again, I'm sorry for your loss. Brenda was an awesome woman, and I'll keep you in my thoughts and my prayers. So I wanted to give Mr. Scarterfield a shout out for that.
Well said, Rich. I agree.
And back to the Giants. Fuck them. That's what we're about.
You know what, too, Rich? I was looking at the when I saw that the Giants weren't going to play, most likely not going to play the starters. They're not going to have to change their offense much because their backup's Tyrod. Yeah. So they're going to probably run the same exact offense. I mean, he's a little bit, longer in the tooth now, but he can make some plays. He can still get you on that 3rd and 3, need to get a stop. He can scramble. So it'll be interesting to see how they game plan for it. The thing that I always say is, the defense practices against Hurts every day. They should be able to deal with a running quarterback, right? They see that every day. That should be something that doesn't affect us. We'll see. We'll see if Gannon comes out. Listen, I would love to see him just I want to see an all-out blitz every once in a while.
Yeah.
Do I think that Isaiah Hodgins and Richie James can beat Slam Bradbury one-on-one? I don't. No. That's why it's not like CeeDee Lamb's on the other side or Justin Jefferson, right? Where you have to worry about that. Send a house. make a mistake, get a turnover. I love to see it. You don't have to be overly aggressive, but nobody thinks that that's ever coming from him because that's not the way he plays. So let me see something like that. Now's the time to do it, right?
Dude, imagine if he sent 5 or sent the line with a corner. Like, pick your poison on who you're going to block.
Well,
Someone is going to be open.
Their best blitzing guy in the secondary is Maddox, so that does hurt that he's out. He's very good at that. So
Josiah Scott's either going to like give up a big play or maybe get a sack. So I'm not mad if you line up and nickel and blitz him every time.
He's the one that had the pick last week, right?
Did he have a pick last week?
Yeah,
he
he
picked
did.
last week.
Wow, that's awesome.
And a blind squirrel, Rich. You know what I mean?
Yeah, blind squirrels do find nuts. Trust me. Yeah, we all know that.
Joe, what do you got?
Obviously, got the Birds. They're going to win. Score probably 24-14. I think you'll get probably a couple touchdown passes from Hurts. Goddard will have one. I think Gainwell
I like it.
might get a score this week coming out of the woodwork.
He should have had one last week, but they called that terrible
That
holding call.
the worst holding call in the NFL.
Yo, Landon Dickerson literally flattened the dude and was
terrible.
like, "That was on me."
If you watch the replay, I think they meant to call it on Mailata because he did have jersey, and they got the numbers mixed up. But that was pretty bad.
Yeah.
Absolute trash.
And I got Bradbury with a pick.
Okay. I think this is a get right game. I think it gets ugly early.
Can't get any fucking worse, Don.
No, but listen, you all missed the boat on the player of the game here. Boston Scott.
Oh yeah, dude. I'm putting 100 on Boston Scott anytime touchdown. Anytime.
Put your bets in right now. Put your bets in.
Anytime touchdown, 2+, maybe 1+ score.
Dude, 13 career TDs, 9 against the Giants. Like
I think they kind of pull away. For me, I think they kind of pull away early, and I think it gets ugly. And then they just kind of ride that second half. You're going to see a lot of the backup guys. I think by that point, God, I'm hoping it's like a 28, 30, 28, maybe 28-10, 28-7, something like that. But I think Boston Scott is the guy that he's a giant killer. He always, for whatever reason, man, that dude always shows up in those Giant games.
Yeah.
I mean, I do love it because it's Boston Scott, and it's just hilarious that he kills the Giants.
He really does.
I could see it being a Boston Scott game. All of a sudden, like Boston Scott gets the ball. All right, we're on the 5. Boom, 95-yard touchdown run. It's like how everybody just falls and he just fucking runs right through. Like,
listen, if you're playing daily fantasy, right? Pick him up. I'm sure he's probably cheap on your DraftKings daily fantasy lineup. So
no, not this week. This week he's probably like 10K just because it's the Giants. He's higher than fucking Derrick Henry. It's like, wait, what? Why is Boston? Oh, it's the Giants. Yeah, pound them for 3 touchdowns. That's great.
Oh,
and Mike, dude. All right. So here's the thing about Oscar. If you knew Oscar, like on a personal level, right, you would know that this guy is a wild card for showing up to anything.
Correct.
2 years ago was the last year he was in our one fantasy draft. We told him about it for about 5 months because I'm very neurotic when it comes to fantasy. Time of the draft comes, he's not there. I call this dude, FaceTime him. He's at his house with like four people, like getting ready to go out for the night. I'm like, Oscar, what are you doing? Yo, bro, what's up, man? Just chilling. Like, dude, the fantasy draft's tonight. Oh, yeah, I forgot, bro. I'm not going to make it. And then, like, goes on auto drafts. And then just
make sure he gets Joe Flacco in the last pick.
Yeah, and then he exits out and we're like, all right, give him Flacco. And like, and then Oscar's like, all right, bet, I'm happy. Like, Oscar, you never know with him. Even when we were doing the show and it was me and Nick, I never knew if Oscar was coming on or not because he doesn't have his notifications on his phone. I think he silences everyone except like the people he hangs out with and like drinks with. Since we're out of that age group,
Yeah.
we kind of, you know, by proxy, because we all have kids and shit, he just puts us literally on mute. And then 3 weeks later, I'm like, yo, bro, my bad. I just got that. I just got that text. And my fucking watch listens to me. It's really weird. It freaks me the fuck out.
Everything's
Listen, Rich, here's the score of the game. All right. It's gonna be 35. Eagles are gonna score 35. And then the Giants are going to backdoor cover at the end of the game, and they're going to win. The Eagles are winning by 13. It's going to be 35. Or Eagles are winning by 12. It's going to be 35-23 on like a last-second field goal by Gano. It's going to make a backdoor cover. Or like they score like a late TD, and they go for 2 and don't get it, something like that. So it always goes. You know, Vegas knows.
That would happen. Because, yeah, Vegas is just Vegas.
Somebody's going to hammer they're going to be up late. Somebody's going to hammer the plus 14. Something bad's going to happen. And the Eagles are going to win, but then their day's going to be ruined because they hammered the plus 14.
That's when you just, like, I would just put 100 down and then just buy the points up to 21. So I'd be like, all right, minus 21, and I would just take the Giants for 100. I mean, I'd only probably make like $10, but I'd be like, can the Eagles beat them by 21? Probably not, but I want 110. Like, that's cool. I don't like the lines when it's like that. Like, when they're that high, it always freaks me out because so much has to go right. And if it's close going into the fourth and the Eagles are, like, sitting on the ball and there's 4 minutes left and they're at the 40, and it's like, oh, shit, man. Like, if they don't score now and they get a first down, oh, shit, it's going on to the 2 minutes. Giants lose their timeout. Oh, shit, they get another first, then the game's over. Fuck.
You know what's going to happen too? So Packers-Lions, that game got flexed to nighttime. It's going to be a good game.
Oh, yeah.
Packers are going to win. And that, you know who they play then? They'll play the Niners in San Fran. It's going to be an Aaron Rodgers revenge game, baby. I'm telling you. He's going to get it done finally.
Oh, he's finally going to beat
San Fran. The Niners. He can't beat the Niners.
He can't beat the Niners.
And then he's going to leave. And then he's going to leave Green Bay.
The Niners aren't that scary. I mean, CMC is CMC, but their
defense is plays though. That's why.
But their defense is. Who have they beat in the last 5 weeks that was good?
It's true. It's a good point.
No one.
Their division's bad.
Their division's worse than ours.
What? No, the Eagles division's a good division.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But I'm going by like strength of schedule wise because.
Oh yeah.
Everybody in our division, yes, is I think have been better than what's been projected. But everybody's like, oh, the Eagles strength of schedule, Dallas strength of schedule. But I'm like, dude, the AFC West sucks. Like, it is not good.
Yeah, but then,
Arizona looks better without Kyler Murray than with Kyler Murray. I'm just kidding.
It's the same thing. It's like you look at the schedule at the beginning of the year, look bad, but now you're like, okay, the Eagles played the Lions. The Lions might make the playoffs. The Eagles played the Jaguars. The Jaguars are probably going to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The Vikings ended up they're the 3 seed right now. Like, that's a good team. They beat the Cowboys once. That's a good team. They beat the Giants twice. They're going to beat the Giants twice.
That's a playoff
team. So it's like the schedule always looks really bad in the beginning of the year, but then.
Breaking news, guys. Breaking news. NFL just announced that the Bengals-Bills game will be called a no contest.
What does that even mean?
I guess it just doesn't matter. No tie, no nothing. It just
this is where you have the issues because so the Bills still hold the 1 seed, right?
Yeah.
So then if you're the Chiefs, you're going to be pissed off about this game.
Oh, I mean, now how do they do it by percentage? Will they decide that seeding by win percentage?
I think that's what I read today. And then they said something about they're going to leave it up to the 1 seed if they want to.
They're going to let them choose.
Have the bye, yeah, or I don't remember how they worded it.
I heard, one of the options that I heard was that like they were going to let the 1 seed pick either the bye or home field advantage.
Yeah,
and then the 2 seed was either going to get the other one.
Give me home field. Give me home field.
Yeah, give me home field. I don't care about that. Give me home field. I mean,
so if you're the Bills, you're like, oh, I have to play the Chargers in Buffalo in weather and snow.
No,
yes,
they don't. If the Chiefs, what was the Chiefs? and the Bills, it would be a neutral site. They said the AFC Championship game would be at a neutral site.
In Miami, let the boys run.
Yeah, let them play on. Let them play in Dolphin Stadium. That would be great.
I mean,
Hey,
I mean,
Tua.
I don't like. To be honest, I hate the idea of a neutral site
I think it's
for a championship game.
So
You know what?
deflating.
The thought that I thought they should do is just have the Bengals Bills make up their game. Technically, week 19, have everybody else off, and then you just
push
shorten the
everything back
season.
a
You don't
week.
have the 2 weeks before the Super Bowl. You just go right into the Super Bowl. Who needs 2 weeks off and a Pro Bowl? We don't need a fucking Pro Bowl.
It's
Have
not
it
a football
after.
this year. Isn't
Is
it
it
just
over?
skills?
Yes.
It's a skills,
Skills.
Whatever it is, have
isn't
that.
it like
Right.
Have that
beach
after the
volleyball?
Super Bowl, and this way, if the Super
Think
Bowl,
so.
when the Eagles are in the Super Bowl, this way, if the guys want to do the skills competition, they can do it after the game.
Right, but you had Nick. I thought about that too. Like you just push everything back. Like it's a standalone game.
Yeah,
Play
it would kill too. The ratings would be crazy.
and it's a monster matchup too.
And everybody would want to see it after what happened. Like,
Especially because that's going to affect seeding because the Bengals, Chiefs, and Bills they're the top 3 seeds. So if the Bengals win and the Chiefs jump, then the Bengals might get the 2 seed. It could affect a lot. That's why no contest. Like I get it from the perspective of what the league wants to do. They don't want to move. They don't want to move everything just for one game. But if you're the Chiefs, this is when you're like, all right, now listen, fuck the Chiefs. I don't care. But it's that's the mentality. Because if it happened to like if we're in the Chiefs position and that was the Niners, we'd be like, yo, what the hell? Like we want that.
yeah.
Right.
But then you think like, oh, if we would get our choice, we'd take home field too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it's sad for the events that unfolded in the game. Like I woke up and was like 40 messages from like Nick and everybody. I'm like, the fuck are they talking about? And then like I finally started looking. I'm like, oh shit! Like Hamlin like died on the field.
And guess
Same-
what? Too,
same-
Rich, another
Same
breaking
thing.
story. Peyton Hillis in critical condition after he jumped in the water and saved his kids from drowning. His kids are fine, but he is in the ICU battling for his life.
Holy fuck!
Jesus Christ.
That's the dad strength, bro.
Man,
Yeah.
dude, it's been like Ronnie Hillman and now Hamlin, now Hillis. Like it's been a bad stretch a few weeks for NFL players.
Well, and how did you see that thing, the story about that field in particular?
Yeah,
No,
that's the Antonio Brown hit, the Ryan
Right.
Shazier hit.
Brian Clark, Tua. Now this guy all on that field.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the Tua when Tua died, basically. Rich, remember that when he got up and then the Antonio Brown from Burfict.
Yeah, the perfect
And
smash.
then the Ryan Shazier when he destroyed his leg.
Yeah.
Or,
I
his-
wanna know-
his
No,
neck.
when he was when he was paralyzed.
Yeah.
Who has cleared, and why is Tua allowed to play?
Tua's playing.
That dude's going to be a fucking.
Wait, you just said Tua is playing.
Well, he since that hit where he was down and his hands and fingers were like
Oh,
When his fetal
Right.
like
he was
response,
allowed.
reflexes kick in.
He came back from that and played. I don't understand how he shouldn't have been able to. He shouldn't have played the rest of the season.
I don't understand why he didn't retire yet.
I mean,
Off
he's-
his name alone, he would make millions off endorsements. He would have nothing.
He's not playing again this year. They said he's most likely not playing this year. He's not going to
Okay.
play. He's not going to play this week.
But if
But he
takes
did
one more
play
fucking
since that hit.
Oh yeah, he's suffered
yeah.
He suffered 2 more concussions since that hit.
Yeah.
He's
All
had
right.
3 this year, at least.
Well, he had the one that he just had. They said the one that he was out last week. They said they showed the hit, and the coaches nobody even called it until they said the next day in film.
The
Mike
next day.
McDaniel asked him about like a stretch of plays, and Tua was like he didn't
I don't
remember
remember.
the whole stretch of plays. So they were like, "All right, you like,
yeah.
come on, guys."
That should never happen. Should never happen.
Like you have people like your
watch
independent
for that
writers
stuff.
and people watching this, like watching for this. How does it go missed again? And it's crazy because the dude's young. He's what, 24 years old?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but probably at the same time, Rich, probably one of the safer places for something like that to happen, considering the amount of medical people that are on site and the training that they're supposed to have.
Yeah.
I mean, I was reading a story about the trainer and how that immediate response to do the rapid response with the CPR and the AED probably saved his life.
Obviously saved his life.
But I mean, increased his chances to now what we're talking about 4 days later, and they're talking about him sitting up and responding and
there's no neurological damage, which is the most important part.
It's a miracle.
Is a fucking miracle. Like, dude, when he
died twice. He died twice.
Yeah, it's fucking nuts.
He died twice.
And then I was watching fucking Bart Scott blaming T. Higgins. I'm like,
come on, man.
What are you talking
just
about?
Looking for reaction, looking for your, dude, your career's over. You don't play anymore.
Yeah.
And the fucking worst of all of them is that guy.
Yeah.
It starts with an S. And his last name starts with a B. I don't even want to say his name.
Dude, that show sucks anyway. Like, that dude always is looking for shit, and it's so fucking terrible. I'm like, I can't stand listening to this guy and his yelling and his stupid points. Plus, he's a Cowboys fan.
Yeah, what do you expect? He's a Cowboys fan, dude.
Anything he says, I write off. Like, dude, if you're more upset over the game, like, I was happy that they actually did the right thing, and the coaches were like, no, we're not playing. Like, you see my players right now? Like, you see how – like, that's like if I'm on the field and I watch Nick die. You expect me to go out there and play?
I didn't. You played after I died.
They wanted him to take a 5-minute break and get back out there and play. I want to know who was in charge of making that call.
So this is what I have with the NFL. He put Troy Vincent out there to basically be the one to speak about it. But Goodell should have been the one making a statement, but he's a coward. He's going to wait to talk to lawyers. And he's going to be like, oh, well, the league. So basically leaves Troy Vincent on island to take all the brunt of everything and figure it out. And then they said that wasn't true, the 5-minute thing. But, like, Joe Buck and all those guys wouldn't have just fabricated that. That's weird. So somebody said something about, hey, 5 minutes.
Nobody wants to take
Somebody said something they should have to somebody, and they fucking ran with it. But the thing that I always look at in these situations when it's like these horrible situations, right? Look at all the people that ran to him to help. In that reaction, right? You saw all the good in humanity in all those people coming in and stepping in and helping him all along the way. And from that point on, right, all the people at the hospital, and then every ounce of humanity that has now, donated to that charity, where it's now in less than a week, it's over $7.5 million. Like,
Nick, what was the most Washington Redskins thing, bro?
Oh, what I sent earlier? That the Commanders donated $5,000 to the foundation, and then the guy that owns a carpet store donated $5,500. They were like, Dan Snyder is literally a walking L, dude.
The dude who owns the carpet store down the street donates $5,500, and Dan Snyder, who is fucking worth billions, is like, yeah, I can write $5,000.
He's like, I'm going to save this money for my lawyer fees when I lose this team and sexual harassment lawsuits come out the woodwork.
Yeah, and God. Jeff Bezos buys it. It's fucked, dude. Like,
that's the Commanders, bro.
Dude,
their coach didn't even know that they could have been eliminated, and he started Wentz anyway.
Oh
Ron Rivera was like, "Wait, we could be eliminated tonight."
That took the cake, man. That pause. He was like, "Wait, really?"
It's like, one, how do you not know that? And two, how is nobody in your coaching staff telling you that? Like, listen, I know that Carson should be starting, but like, we can't do that.
That's gotta be at the front of the game plan.
Yeah, guys,
big game coming up. Must win game.
Big game coming up.
Must win. If we lose, we're done.
We're gonna start Carson. Okay, so then you know we're gonna start Carson, and then next week, after we win this game with Carson Wentz, we'll worry about the playoffs.
And like, you don't think don't the players know too? Like, I feel like if I was a player, I would know whether or not we're eliminated or not.
If I was a player, I'd be like, why the fuck is he starting? If I was Terry McLaurin, I'd be like, Coach, why?
Yeah, he hates
Number
Terry
one.
for some reason. Carson never throws it to Terry.
Yeah, that's what we're
All right,
talking about right
so-
now.
Career backup.
And two, why the fuck is he starting? If I'm Terry McLaurin, I'm asking that question twice.
Where is he next year?
Nowhere.
Calgary.
Is he out of the league?
He'll be on a roster, but he's going to be a
Backup.
roster as a
Definitely
backup.
Yeah.
The Raiders.
You think he'll be
No.
a backup? Like, to me, like the backup quarterback has to be like a not even low maintenance. He's got to be like a low maintenance guy. And
You don't
Carson,
even have to know his name.
He needs
Right,
to be
Carson-
invisible.
right,
Invisible.
but Carson Wentz seems to me like he would be the biggest douche and not be like and then not have the production on the field to be able to back it up, because since that play in LA, his seasons have been fucking garbage.
You know where he's going to go?
The XFL or the USFL.
I could see him actually in the XFL. I think that
Right.
would be a smart choice for him because he'll get all the headlines that he wants, and he'll probably win a championship again. And,
Right.
It'll revive his career. Then he'll be a Texans quarterback, so it'll be great for his career. But if I don't see him going there, like he's probably going to go to like the Cardinals or some shit and like back up Kyler Murray, because Arizona, no one gives a fuck about football. So he'll just go out west and like be irrelevant. And it'll be funny when it's like, oh, the backup on the Arizona Cardinals, and it's like no one cares. And it's Carson Wentz. Like it's
Cleveland.
no, they have.
This one's a little bit punny.
You hear that? You hear that? My watch was about to tell me a joke.
What are
about
you
it.
watching over there, Rich?
I'm not watching anything, dude. My watch just hears shit and freaks me out.
Rich, you want to give an update on the Golden Mike League before we jump into the Broad Street Line?
Yeah, sure. Chip's probably going to win.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Sorry, Britt. That's just what it is.
There we go.
Cheers.
This is the Broad Street Line, where Philly sports fans leave all of their sports hot takes. Call 267-405-3062 and show us your passion for Philly sports. Don't forget to tune in every Wednesday at 8:30 when we listen to your live reactions to the thrill of victory or the agony of defeat.
All right, here we go. You hear?
I don't hear shit, Don. Did you unplug the phone jack? John, I told you, use the magic jack. It was $19.99, 2 payments. This is why nobody calls the line. You can't hear.
Magic Jack, huh?
Remember the magic jack? Best infomercial.
All right, let's try this again. Here we go.
Shake weight.
We have to read it. Read it out loud, Don.
You hear it?
No, Don, we can't hear it. Where's Oscar? God, we need our producer back.
Oh, God.
He didn't speak, but at least he could play audio.
Oh, God.
It's all right.
Talk amongst yourselves. I'll figure it out.
Carson Wentz. I just
Who?
don't get it. Yeah, I know.
He
And then Mike goes, Don, we can't hear shit. He runs the network. I would
Oh,
listen to
God.
the exec.
Here we go. Let's try this.
Yo, guys. It's Mike from Phired Up. I just wanted to say congrats on 100 episodes. Excited to see the OGs return, seeing Oscar and Nick, even though it was kind of nice not hearing Oscar talk about soccer, to be honest.
Always nice.
Rich,
Always
you
nice.
beautiful bastard. You're an absolute pigeon, but I love you. Don, I was going to talk shit to you, but you're just so fucking nice. Stop being so nice. Be a dick more often. Be more of a dick. You too, Jay. Stop being so goddamn nice. Honestly, congrats on the sobriety, dude. That's incredible, and keep doing what you're doing. What else? And Joe, I know we haven't really had much interaction, but you beat me in the Golden Mike League, so you can go fuck yourself. But in all honesty, I'm super honored that you guys decided to leave Belly Up and come on board with what we're trying to build with the Phired Up Podcast Network. It truly does mean the world to me. And yeah, I'm just so excited to have you guys on board. Let's just kill shit. Yeah, I don't really know how to end this. I don't really think this part through. So, love you guys, and go Birds.
Attaboy, Mike. Attaboy, Mike. That's the CEO of the network. Attaboy, Mike. Gentlemen, cheers to our 100th episode. To doing.
I don't have a drink, but cheers.
It's all right. To doing what we do, and that JT Roll Muto Cup. Attaboy. Some good stuff in there.
The sponsor. Gotta shout out the sponsor.
Shout out to Vonsi. Shout out to Vonsi. Always fun. Always fun.
Well, Rich, let's take us out. What do we got? Final thoughts.
Final thoughts. My final thoughts. You know, I had some reflecting today, and it was funny because I don't know where it came from. I was helping my dad re-put his cover back on his pool because the wind blew it off, and he was all pissed off, and he was like yelling. And I'm just thinking, I'm like, everybody, yeah, Nick knows. My dad was just like fucking mad. His nature is just angry Irish German. It's great. So I'm sitting there like reflecting. And I'm like, 100th episode tonight. Milestones. What you can achieve in life, right? And it got me thinking to like, young me, right? Young me dated a girl. Her dad was a complete fucking dickhead. The absolute worst piece of shit. And I have no problem saying that because if he wants to fight me, I'll fucking kill him. That dude literally talked to me for 2 hours of how I'd never amount to shit and how what do you say? A leopard can't change its spots.
Yeah.
And that resonated with me like the rest of my life to always be better and to try to not overcompensate, but like shoot for the stars and anything that I'm doing and try to be the best at what I'm doing. And just to spite him, not because I really wanted to, because deep down we all want to be successful. But when you tell people that you'll never amount to anything, you kind of want to stick it to them. So looking at everything that I've accomplished in the short time of being an occupational therapy assistant, moving up to an assistant director position of our rehab and starting a teaching job in February. Like, fuck you, dude. Like, that's what I got to say. Like, you poked the wrong one. And I'm really happy that my hard work is paying off. I took a gamble on myself and it's paying off. And my work shows. And, you know, all of us did. You know, Nick is doing a shit ton with his life without a college degree. Don, you're fucking killing it in STEM.
I didn't get that.
Jesus Christ, this watch is fucking psycho.
Who do you got over there, Rich?
No one. It's this watch, dude. I took it off. And Joe, you made a leap, right? You just made a leap.
Mm-hmm.
And you're happy. Like 4 guys who refuse to fail. And that's what I see. And especially with Jay. 5 guys who refuse to fail. Who always strive for that excellence and perseverance and survival and doing what's right for their family. That's why I'm happy that this 100th episode is come together, especially during my little period of reflection today. And I love all you guys, and I'm so happy we did this. But never sell short people and what they're able to accomplish if they're young and stupid, like I was. I was young, dumb, and I was an idiot. But always see the potential and see the good in people and build them up. Want people to eat, want people to win, because that's what we need. Like, we need to support each other and to keep going and to keep moving forward and not putting people down because they make a mistake at fucking 17 or 16 and saying you'll never amount to anything. You'll never be nothing. Because you might fire up the wrong person. And you got me all fired up. And I'm never going to stop until I've reached my pinnacle and can be You know, my wife can have her rescue her dreams and doesn't have to work anymore. And I can be the provider and I can do this and I can do that 'cause I'm on my way. So, Mr. Alexander, thank you for everything you did.
Oh,
for
he
me
dropped
that
the
day.
name and knew
I'm
it's
dropping the
coming.
name. Thank you for everything you did for me that day.
Gas on the fire.
And go fuck yourself. From the bottom of my heart, go fuck yourself.
He's just mad because he's 5'2".
He's mad because he's 5'2", that fucking bitch. Fire me up, cuz I'm sorry. You made this monster.
This was an everyday
now I'm making
conversation during a stretch of our lives, Don.
I can imagine.
Yeah, that was
He's actually a lot he's calmer now too than when he was 16, 17. It was a lot worse.
I was gonna say this conversation with Rich at 16 or 17 probably sounds a whole lot different.
Yeah, he had hair back then too.
I had hair, dude. He made me feel like an absolute piece of shit for 2 hours. 2 hours in his kitchen. He took an extended lunch break to literally belittle me and my family and tell me I'll never amount to anything.
Oh, God.
So thank you for that. I'm doing great. How are you?
Nick, what do you got?
Just appreciate you guys letting me hop back on for the 100th episode.
Hell yeah.
Come a long way since Rich is not even the basement. It was like a closet in his basement.
The mudroom, baby.
Between his garage with no temperature control. I respect it. That's where the grind starts, you know. Yeah. Bezos started in the garage too, Rich. Remember that. So
it is only up, baby. Only up.
So appreciate it, guys. And it's been fun.
Yo, hop back on whenever you want, bro. Because Jay is always questionable.
Hey,
Jay is like the Sean Jackson's hamstrings.
Man.
He's good for 2 and he's out for 8.
Joe, what do you got?
I'm always questionable too, Nick. So you can, there's always a spot for you, buddy. No, you know, it's we've heard a lot, we've seen a lot of it since it's happened, but I really, you know, you get caught up in that emotion of humanity with this whole thing with DeMar Hamlin. It's, you know, it puts life in perspective. It puts relationships in perspective. And it just puts, you know, humanity as a whole in perspective. And it's great to see, you know, everybody, people that, I mean, that don't even know him, that don't know his family, that don't know his friends. It's good to see. It's great to see how everybody has rallied around and come together as a country, as the world, to support him, support his friends, to support his family. It's just been great to see. You know, I was checking constantly every hour, every day since it happened to see, you know, how he was doing and how he was progressing, and you know, the output of support and love and all that has just been, you know, it's been great. It's been great to see how everybody has just, you know, come together as one unit to support him. So, you know, that's just been great.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think, Joe, and to piggyback off that, right? Like, you saw the best in humanity after something horrific that happens, right? And I'm looking at it right now, and it sits at $7.595 million. Like, that's from close to 300,000 donations.
Yeah.
Everything from $1 to, you know, $25,000.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just the worst events in humanity also highlight the best in the responses, right? You see the best of humanity in how people rally together, right? You saw all the NFL teams that changed the profile pictures to support him. You saw each team, you can see individual players, you can see people reaching out for that support. It just really highlights the best in humanity, and I really wish nothing but the best for this kid. He seems like he's, you know, progressing in a way that he's going to be able to, you know, live a life after this horrific event. So,
Yeah.
And to second that, for me, this podcast has given me, a lot of amazing things, amazing friendships, amazing conversations, the relationships that we've had, that we've built, that we've communicated, truly mean a lot. They mean a lot to me. And, would have never thought, Rich, that a little Facebook comment saying I'm in would have, taken me on this road. But, here we are, 100 episodes, man. And it just truly thankful for where we are, and, kind of really excited for where we can take this thing. So, just a start, brother, just a start. So, gentlemen, 100 episodes, brother. This was a ton of fun. Nick, the invite is always open. You say the word, I'll send the invites out, brother.
As long as we can get Rich to do more rants like that, I mean,
dude, I got a lot of fucking.
Oh, I know.
That's
fine. I know that.
So I'm all good. I had to let that one out, dude. I was dwelling on that today, and I was dwelling on it yesterday. I'm like, I still can't believe he fucking said that to me. I'm like, I was 17 and stupid. I would never say that to somebody, not let alone a child, because I was a kid. Like, that was some bad look out of you, Mr. Alexander. Like, be better. Be better. Anyway, you stuck around, you fucked around, you found out. It's always fuck you, Spike Eskin, fuck you, Deshaun Watson, double fuck you, Skip Bayless, and as always, fuck Davion Taylor, because he stinks. He just absolutely stinks. I'm Rich, that's Nick, that's Joe, and of course the man behind it all, Don Juan. Philly, we love you. We're drunk on broad. Peace.
Go Birds.
Go Birds.
Birds.
Go Birds.
Von C Brewing Company is a 20-barrel, 16,000 square foot microbrewery with a 2,500 square foot tasting room, including a spacious outside beer garden in Norristown, PA, in the heart of Montgomery County. The Von C family is part of the family that started C. Schmidt and Son Brewing in 1860. Stop in Wednesday through Sunday and taste a variety of draft and 16-ounce cans of originally brewed beer and tell them the Drunk on Broad crew sent you. Von C Brewing is located at 1210 Stenbridge Street, Suite 300 in Norristown. Cheers.
Team Clicks are the only glasses for real sports fans. With interchangeable arms, you can support all of your favorite teams, or even make and create custom options as well. These die-hard sports fans have realized that sports fans needed something other than face paint to show their love and passion for their teams. Go to teamclicks.com/DOB and show your love for your hometown team.
La Torrent's curated collection of men's and women's watches is a perfect investment that lasts for years to come and fits perfectly with your every outfit and style. Our range of classic watches aren't just a great perfect formal and casual accessory, but a time machine that takes you back to memories. Explore our collection of timeless watches that can reflect your taste, personality, and personal style. Our exclusive collection of carefully curated, affordable luxury watches is what you need to make a personalized style statement. You can take pride in your prized possession, handing it over to the next generations as your most loved asset that they can also own and display with the same pride. These high-quality pieces stand the test of time, giving exceptional value and return on your investment. Go to la-tourain.com and use code DOB at checkout and get 10% off.
If you're looking for unique sports apparel, check out Streaker Sports. They've dug deep into the archives and have brought back some incredible defunct team logos and have even created entire defunct league collections. They also have collections paying homage to sports culture, including the Miracle on Ice, Slap Shot, Caddyshack, the Mighty Ducks, and even have a license with Wiffle Ball and USA Hockey. Only for Drunk on Broad listeners, use code BROAD at checkout to get 10% off anything at streakersports.com. Again, that's 10% off anything at streakersports.com with discount code BROAD.